Good morning. I'm Pete Seiferth, one of the pastors at Northminster Presbyterian Church, and on this Friday morning I've got a devotional thought for you as we continue in our Lenten series of devotions. Our week theme has been about relationships and how we're to steward them and to take care of them because they're gifts from God, absolutely. And today's topic is about forgiveness. How is it that we're to forgive? Well, if you've ever been in a conflict before, if there's ever been an issue raised, likely there's been some defensiveness. And it usually sounds like this: oh, so-and-so did something first, and so I'm doing this now. And I'm justified, and I have feelings, and I'm entitled to those feelings, and so no one can say anything about it because they did it first. This is a justice issue. We hear this in arguments from 2 years old all the way up to 102 years old. It happens. And there's just something about humans and our the way that we're made up. We want to defend ourselves and protect ourselves from being hurt. And so this makes sense in some ways. But this also leads to broken relationships, and it's sinful. And so the Bible instructs us on how we can heal from this and how to get better. One of the places that we look for this guidance is in the New Testament, the book of Ephesians. In chapter 4, talks about unity, maturity, how it is that we're to live together, to be harmonious, and to live in accordance to the calling that God has on our lives. And when it comes to talking about conflict, it wraps up at the very last verse of chapter 4 in Ephesians, verse 32. Paul writes, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." You can see here how Paul is flipping what we tend to say and do. So-and-so did it first, and so I'm going to do this. He's saying, remember, God forgave you first, so forgive others. And friends, this is our source for how we are going to reconcile and be with others in relationship again. That if it's a blame game and we're just going to be pointing fingers at other people, we will never get to reconciliation. We will only try to win our position and be right. But what God is saying is, y'all are wrong, all wrong, because of your sin. And because I can forgive you in Jesus Christ, and because of his life, his death, his resurrection, his ascension to heaven, his sending of his Spirit into our hearts, that we become temples of God where God lives, and that he wishes to transform us, that if God can do all of that and he can forgive us, then because of that, we can forgive others. So friends, I hope this is an encouragement to you today, is to remember that God's forgiveness begins with his love and with his absolute care for you. And because God cares for you, he sent his son Jesus into the world to live and to die for you. But also so that you could understand what it means to die to yourself, receive God's forgiveness, be made new and whole, and in turn have a supernatural resource to be reconciled and to be forgiving with others in your life. God bless you as we continue our walk towards Holy Week and ultimately Easter. But understand too that we have important work taking up our cross, following Jesus, seeking to be on mission with him, accomplishing the desires and the goals that he has for us and our community. So God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend.